India already tried to build its own Marvel. $51 million. The biggest visual effects budget in Bollywood history. A character who literally calls his team India's Avengers. And then it just vanished. No sequel, no franchise, nothing. Let's talk about what actually happened to India's Avengers. The movie was called Brahmastra, released in 2022, starring two of Bollywood's biggest names, backed by a major studio's Indian arm. It wasn't a side project, it was Bollywood's biggest swing at a superhero universe ever. And it wasn't copying Marvel's mythology either, it pulled from actual Indian legend. Astras, ancient weapons from Hindu epics, reimagined as a whole superhero universe. On paper, this should have worked better than anything Hollywood ever borrowed from us. 4,500 visual effects shots. That's not a typo, it's the most VFX any Indian film has ever attempted. This wasn't a cheap knockoff. Somebody actually built the thing properly. And it made money. Technically, it earned back its budget, more or less broke even. In Hollywood terms, that's how a franchise usually gets a green light for round two. Except round two never came. 3 years later, no sequel, no spin-off. Industry analysts now say a follow-up is unlikely before 2030, if it happens at all. India's Avengers got benched before the second movie even started filming. And here's the part that makes this sting more. This wasn't even India's first attempt. Back in 2006, there was a genuine homegrown superhero franchise. It actually worked, for a while. Then a few years later, one of the biggest stars alive bet big on a superhero movie. It bombed. Hard enough that Bollywood basically avoided big-budget superhero films for the next decade.
So why does this keep happening? The honest answer isn't talent, or money, or even audience appetite. It's structural. India doesn't have one film industry. It has several. Bollywood, Tollywood, Collywood, each with its own superstars, its own audience, its own economics. Marvel could plan 10 years ahead because it was building for one connected market. Building a shared universe across India's split industries is like trying to build one Marvel using 5 different Hollywoods that don't fully share an audience. And Indian cinema runs on individual stardom, not shared universes. A film gets greenlit because of who's headlining it, not what franchise it belongs to. That's the opposite of how Marvel was built from day one. Add 2 very expensive, very public flops, Ra.One, then Brahmastra's stalled sequel, and you get an industry that's genuinely scared to try again. Nobody wants to be the next case study. But here's the twist nobody talks about. India already built a working shared universe. It's just not called Marvel. It's called the YRF Spy Universe, and it's quietly one of the biggest franchises in the country's history. Salman Khan as Tiger, Hrithik Roshan as Kabir, Shah Rukh Khan as Pathan. 3 of India's biggest stars playing 3 different spies in movies that started separate and then got deliberately stitched together into one connected story. Combined, this franchise has grossed over 2,000 crore rupees. Pathan alone made over 1,000 crore on its own. This isn't a struggling experiment. This is India's actual functioning Marvel. It just wears a spy suit instead of a cape. And the reason it worked where Brahmastra didn't is almost embarrassingly simple. Nobody announced it as India's Avengers on day one. They made good spy movies first and connected them later, once each one had already proven it could stand on its own. So the truth isn't that India can't build a shared universe. We already did. We just built it out of spies instead of superheroes, and nobody put a cape on it to notice. If you want more stories about the things this country almost built, and the ones it built without realizing it, stick around. There's more where this came from.